Oh, how I've missed you, Dismal Minus, in all your wonder, in all your Marvel glory. And now you're back with Secret Invasion. And oh, what a return. Let's talk about it after the scroll. Bonjour. Right, before I get my claws into Secret Invasion, I would like to thank each and every one of you that have subscribed, liked, commented, viewed from beginning to end, each and every one of my videos that have made my first year. It's nearly my first year anniversary. I thank everyone that has made it for me such a pleasure. Like really, and for me in my little world, such a success. 18,500 subscribers, nearly 2 million views collectively. So I am ecstatic. I'm over the moon, and I'd just like to thank everyone. And please carry on. Let's get into it. As always, let's get into it with the comments. Give it a like, give it a dislike, but tell me why. But we are now back. It seems like a while. Secret Invasion landed today. And all that sounds ominous, doesn't it? And I've put my old She-Hulk review shirt on because the scary scrolls are green. So I thought, oh, they're scary. I'll put my green shirt on because they're green and scary. Oh. And the pitch for Secret Invasion must have been, what if we mixed Invasion of the Body Snatchers with Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and we had that Cold War paranoia, but with an extra layer of alien invasion? How good would that be? It would be really good. It would be really good if the children over at Dismal Minus weren't allowed to scribble their ideas down in crayon, lick the paper, stick it to their heads, get their friends to read it if they can, and then as the spit wears off and it falls to the floor, they trample and dance over it, and that is the script for the show they're going to make. Where to start? Let me start with a couple of good things. The initial setup and idea, it isn't too bad, and this isn't going to take long getting the good bits out of the way. The acting is, well, it's Sally, you know, old Colby Smithers, whatever her name is, Smothers. She's a decent actress. So is Olivia Colman. So is Samuel Jackson. They all act like Samuel Jackson is acting like Samuel Jackson. Olivia Colman is acting. These aren't Oscar-worthy performances. They are all dialing this in, and I hope they are getting paid a gazillion £1 an episode, or dollars, or yen, whatever they're getting paid, or maybe what is it in Russia? Because this first episode is set in Russia. It isn't drachma, is it? What is the Russian? Anyway, doesn't matter. It eludes me now. Let's talk about the setting in Russia. Now, if I say to you, Moscow, and you was creating, you needed the audience to believe that this entire episode was going to be set in the Russian capital, what's the first thing you would have done? Now, I know what I would have done. If I couldn't have afforded snow, I would have at least had, you know, that pre-winter, like the end of autumn, beginning of winter, where you've just got a little bit of, just throw some cotton wool in front of the camera to have that snow coming in, that impending, and there's scenes at night and it's cold, it's supposed to be cold. There are scenes in this episode where it's so blatantly not Moscow, but they have told everyone to wear a furry hat. But doesn't even look cold. There's people wearing furry, but I shouldn't be looking. I shouldn't be looking at them. I should be so absorbed in the drama and the action. But I'm not, because there isn't any. It plods so drearily. I mean, the run time of this is 54 minutes. And it's almost... It's like... It's a bunch of children writing how that have been nowhere, or young people, maybe late teens, early 20s, people that have been nowhere, done nothing, and not seen anywhere, and they're writing and filming and creating what they think adults do, if that makes sense. Because none of the dialogue is shockingly bad. It's so bad that nothing is driving everything forward. And I do realise that in this kind of politically charged drama that they're trying to set up, you will need a decent dump of exposition. I was kind of ready for that in the first episode of this, to set it up. But my God, you do need the aliens on top of that. You do need a nice old dollar. You know, is this going to be political intrigue, or is it going to be Marvel? Mix the two, but my God, you have got to be top of your game. And none of the people that do this, the director, some of the scenes are so shockingly directed. There's another classic Dismal Minus scene where a Skrull turns up, and it's another black fella. And I don't know why there are so many Skrulls that have decided to take on the persona, bearing in mind that they've based themselves in Russia. Why would you disguise yourself as a black person in Moscow? Now, I've never been. I'm going to take a leap of faith and say there aren't many of them there. There is a part of this episode where Fury, and he does allude to the fact that he's done it on purpose to get caught. But come on, he decides to take a walk in Moscow. Nick Fury, just walk around. It's just absolutely stupid. Absolutely stupid. And then there's this scene where another black Skrull is walking up, and Emilia Clarke walks on, and there's this fence, and you think, oh, where are we? Like, oh, this is interesting. This is intriguing. There's a gate, 2 soldiers. It's got to be one man and one woman. Love you, Dismal. Love you. We're in the wilds. It's northeast of Moscow or something, or northwest, wherever it is. It's just on the outskirts of Moscow. So we've got trees. Still no snow. And I know it isn't snow 12 months a year. But you know what I'm getting at. This is just anywhere generic. I don't know if they filmed this in England or in America. It just ain't Moscow. And he talks to, he shows Emilia Clarke's character that he's a Skrull. You know, they got a little hideout thing going on. But the gates that are there, and the guards come out as this black guy walks towards the gates. But when he's let in, when Emilia Clarke says to the guards, obviously one man, one woman, 50-50. There's no discrimination. There's no discrimination in Russia, let me tell you. I was really pleased. I was really pleased to see it. Really happy. She looks at the guards and she gives them the nod, like to let him in. The gate. They've got a gate. They've got each of them have got a side of the gate. It's not even locked. He could have sneaked up to the gate. He could have just pushed one of them open and wandered in. But maybe that's just me. I just found it highly hilarious. More shocking dialogue ensues. Then we get to that, and this has got to be. This will be a meme in the future, where Fury basically turns round to old thingy bob. Is it Agent Hill? Her character, Colby Smuts, whatever her name is. And says about being a spook. And she goes, "You can't say that." And he goes, "Well, you can't, I can." And you think, is that supposed to be funny? Really? But another good thing. One decent thing is Ben Mendelsohn's character, old Talos and Fury. I've got to admit those two have got nice chemistry. They have got nice chemistry. I won't give any spoilers away, but obviously Ben Mendelsohn's character does appear to be on an arc, which I think is decent. Is fairly decent. That is about it. That is about it. Moving forward, they're going to trip over themselves with the whole Skrull, anyone can be a Skrull thing. How Martin Freeman keeps getting work, I don't know, because I don't rate him as an actor. I know he was in a film to do with some of this stuff. I know he was in how we got that gig, I don't know. He was a pretty decent comedian in the second tier. You need other leaders of the series or film. For me, his American accent is always spot on. Straight away, I'm out of it. Martin Freeman's American accent. We're clearly not in Moscow. There's no snow. But this is the best. This is the best of Dismal Minus. It is so cheap. They've got all the money in the world, or did have when they was building this. Obviously, all the money's gone now. They had all the money in the world. I don't know whether they need that money to persuade the likes of Samuel Jackson, and I don't know why Olivia Colman's in it. She probably had a week off, 2 weeks off, and thought, well, I might as well take their money and do this crap. Because it is. She's just playing, she's dialing it in and just doing what she normally does, and we're all supposed to think, oh, this is edgy and cool. No, it's not. No, it's not. Again, it's how children would perceive these people. And I know they're not going for realism. Don't get me wrong. I know they're not doing that. Nevertheless, none of it. You've got to create a world where it all makes sense. And that isn't done. They just plonk these people into the real world. They don't create their own one that's just slightly adjacent to the real world. You know, the Marvel Universe. They don't kind of bring us into that, where all these characters are weird and wonderful. Nevertheless, Olivia Colman isn't weird and wonderful, nor is Fury. But Talos is, because he's an alien. And Ben Men, you don't get that. We had it in that film he did as a Skrull, but you don't get that. You just don't get that. It's so cheap. When Fury first arrived, if you was doing a low budget film and in the script it said, alien gets dropped, Nick Fury gets dropped off by an alien vessel or by a spaceship. Right. Oh my God, we've only got a few quid. How do we do this? Lots of lights. And as he lands, we shine the lights in the audience's eyes. And then when he's landed and he's on the ground, he looks back, and then we get a bit of string over a branch of a tree with a light. And that's the light of the spaceship. And we pull it up and he can look at it as if he's looking at the spaceship going back up to space that's dropped him off. That's literally how cheap this is. In a way, knowing Dismal Minus's shocking CGI, in a way, perhaps that was a blessing in disguise that we didn't see this badly CGI'd spaceship chopping Nick Fury off. But that's about it. The last 2 minutes kind of ends in a, it ends how it ends, I suppose. And it's decently done. But average at best, but it takes 50 minutes to get there. Nothing. And I know I've said this before, I know I'm a broken record. but there just doesn't seem to be any momentum for anything. They talk, they walk, they sit down, they talk and walk. I was expecting it, you have to, like I say, okay, they are in, a politically charged situation. So I wasn't expecting actiony. But my God, you need people at the top of their game in the script department, editing, production design, making it look like Moscow, everything basically. And Dismal doesn't deliver anything. I will be watching next week. It might liven up. I'm going to make a prediction and say this is going to be another 5 episodes. I think this is 6 episodes. Let's see how right I am. I'm making a prediction right now that this is going to be a dreary 6-episode series where not a lot happens at all. But Talos and Ben Mendelsohn and Emilia Clarke are going to love each other at the end. Let's see how near I am. And on that note, I'm going to leave it there and I'm going to bid everyone adios.